Now we are on a way towards revision part of third normal form and the implementation of the boycott normal form. So these are the two issues what we are taking up. Now when we are discussing about the first and second normal form, we meant that when it is in first normal form, yeah, of course it should be a unique values, and it should be not null values. And when it went to the second normal form, yeah, we meant telling that it is both unique and not null. So that impended towards the primary key. And now let us come to the third normal form. So when we talk about the third normal form, then we are going to say that no transitivity dependency can happen. So no transitivity dependency can happen. So that is where the most important part of the third normal form is going to happen. So why we are going to look for the third normal form was that in order to reduce the data duplications, we are going to include the third normal form. So basically, when there is no transitivity, in sense we mention that x to y, and then y is related to z, and finally z is related to x. In this way, we are going to make a chain aspect. So no such chain must exist. Then we are going to say then that is no transitivity dependencies for non-prime attributes. So that is the first key takeaway we have to check. So the items what we are going to put it into the primary key, those items we call it as uh, the prime attributes, and the items which are going to see that they don't belong, they are dependent on the primary key, those items we call it as non-prime items. So such is how we are going to take up. So in this, the first one was that how we can eliminate the transitivity dependency, so that all non-prime items will purely depend on the prime item and eliminate the transitivity dependency. For such a case, we take up the employee table. There we do have employee ID, employee name, employee PIN code, employee state, and employee city. So if this is a non-normalized, so this is non-normalized, or you can say unnormalized relation here. So at this unnormalized relation, we can see there are employee IDs, employee name, and zip, etc., state, etc. So just a quite interesting, just think how is name related to employee ID, right? It is true. How is name related to employee ID? Yeah, employee ID and name, they are related to one another, and employee name was dependent on the employee ID, that we can take it up. Similarly, how a employee PIN code or a zip is related to employee ID? Yeah, because employee zip, it is indicating the location of an employee where he lives. So again, this relation is also going to be true. Now, how is an employee state related to an employee ID? So there is no sense here, right? There is no sense of making employee state related on to the employee ID. What it makes? There is no relation. Similarly, is there any relationship between employee state and name? So Harry, he belongs to Uttar Pradesh. Does it mean that Harry doesn't? What it mean? Is there any relation? Harry Uttar Pradesh, Sita Uttar Pradesh. So in this way, you US. So where, what is the relation? So we can't predict or we can't make any inferences, any logical relation between name and state. So again, such type is not going to happen. Similarly, we made Lakshmi and Chicago. So is there any relationship between city and name, employee name and employee city? Is there any relation? Because there are a lot more number of people with Lakshmi and they may live in Chicago or they may live in, so there are people who are called as John, and maybe a lot of people named John will live in the Bhopal city. So what is the inference there? So there is no logical reduction. Similarly, what if Karthik and UK? So does it mean that in entire UK only Karthik is there? So again, you can't identify uniquely that relation. So these are some of the flaws, these are some of the anomalies, these are some of the errors which were fixed up to the table. So now how we are going to figure out these contents so that we get a better normalization. In order to get that better normalization, we look into first aspect called as super key, second aspect we call it as candidate key, and third aspect we call it as non-prime attributes. So from the super key, we are going to get the candidate key. From the candidate key, we are going to get the primary key. So this was the chain what we were talking about. And let us see this non-prime attributes. So whoever are dependent on the primary attributes, those elements we are going to call them as non-prime attributes. And these non-prime attributes, they purely depend on the primary. So if such is an inferences which need to be taken up, now the scenario was to see that there is no transitivity dependencies occurring over the tables. So how we are going to look into this issue was, so we are going to have the number of fields as employee ID, name, zip, state and city. Now we bifurcate, or we are going to decompose the table at this point of time. So when we are going to decompose the table, at what point we need to decompose. So the decomposition is crucial, because when we divide the main table into subtables, what will be the prime attributes, what will be the non-prime attributes, we are going to look into it. So for example, if I'm going to call it as an employee ID, that is table 1, we are bifurcating. Then table 2, we are again bifurcating. So that is where employee zip here. So ID is going to be unique and ID is going to be not null. Therefore, we can assume ID can be the primary key. Therefore, we can assume ID can be the primary key. Then we will take up what if name and zip. So name and zip, we can say they are going to be non-prime attributes. They are going to be called as non-prime attributes. So these non-prime attributes, we are notifying it in the same table here. Okay, that we have taken it. The next, what was the next interpretation? The next interpretation was, we need to decompose the table with the remaining attributes. So what will be the remaining attributes here if I'm taking up it as an employee zip here? So employee zip, now it is going to be again the primary key, and employee state and city, they will be assumed as non-key items, and these non-key items, they are purely dependent on the primary item, right? So we bifurcate the table. So that is one issue we have taken up. Then what will be the other issues which need to be looked in? The other issue was, if I want to make a relationship between table 1 and table 2, then how can I do it? If that is the case, then we are going to use the foreign key constraint, that is employee zip, and via this foreign key we are able to link the table. So now ID I can call it as X, then zip I am going to call it as Y. So from X to Y there are some certain relations. Then again, why to some other dependents, that is employee state and employee city, right? But is there any ID to employee state? No, such elements are not going to be there. Therefore, we are going to say no transitivity dependence. No transitivity dependence is taking up at that point of time. So that is how we are going to interpret how the third normalization form was taken up. Okay. After the third normalized form, we are going to have the boycott normal form. So boycott normal form. So what was this boycott normal form? Where this is going to happen was, it is going to be the next higher version of third normal form. So we have first normal form followed by second normal form. Then we have the third normal form. After that, we are going to have the boycott normal form. After BCNF, we have the fourth normal form, and finally we end up with the fifth normal form. So this was the hierarchy what we have to practice. So after third normal form, we do have this next higher version, that is the boycott normal form. So what this boycott normal form will do, it is going to deal with whatever anomalies that is not taken by the that is not handled by the third normal form, those they are going to be taken up in the boycott normal form. So whatever anomalies, anomaly means it can be an insert anomaly, it can be an update anomaly, or it can be a delete anomaly. If the third normal form was missing the insert, update, or delete anomaly, so such items they are going to be worked out in the boycott normal form. And other aspect where this third normal form is going to bring into picture was that when the third normal form, which does not have multiple overlapping, so what was the major constraint or what was the major difference to mitigate between the boycott normal form was, which does not have multiple overlapping of candidate keys. So a candidate key, we are going to call it as a secondary key in the table, and such candidate keys, there is no multiple overlapping. Just go back to the previous example. I am going to have this ID, I am going to have this employee G, but there is only one instances of ID and only the employee zip here. So first one we are going to call it as a primary key, and employee zip it is going to call it as a foreign key. So there is no multiple overlapping of the candidate key, so that it is going to be taken up. So we were seeing that a table is in boycott normal form if functionally dependent of x to y, and x is going to be the super key of the table. So these are some of the constraints where this boycott normal form is going to work out. So now let us solve this boycott normal form with a simple example here. So assume there was a company where the employee is working in more than one department. So now let us take this illustrations here. Assume there was a company where the employee he is going to work in more than one department. So now what this is going to happen. So here I am going to have 264 an employee ID and 364 is an employee ID. So this person he is going to work in India, and this for 364 he is going to work in UK here, and 264 he is working in design department and testing department. 364 he is going to work in stores department, and he is going to work in the developing environment. So in both the aspects, the two persons they are going to work out. Next one, what was this department type? So department type, so as as we are going to say, it do have some number here. So what type of department etc it is going to be mentioned here, and similarly a department it is going to be identified with a department number. So that department number is also going to be a unique value. it is going to be a unique value which is going to be figured out as 284, 300, 330, 232 and 549 like that. Okay, so now this is the scenario or a test case how the table is going to be presented to us. Now in this above example, let us look into the functional dependencies. So what will be the functional dependency was, we are going to have the left hand side element, we are going to have the right hand side element. So ID is going to be functionally dependent on the country code. So whatever employee ID is going to be there, now we are going to link it to the employee country. Similarly, if I am going to take it on a department, so now this department, it is going to be dependent on department type and department number. So department name is going to be, this is, I can call it as department name. So department name, it is going to be dependent on the department type and department number. Now what will be the candidate keys here? So now in the first set of relation, I am going to see that employee ID and employee country. Next one, I am going to see that the department name followed by type and department number here. So if such is the case, now we are assuming two unique keys. We are going to assume two unique set of items. So that two unique set of items, one I am going to call it as some employee ID followed by the employee department here. So now these two items we are going to call here as the candidate keys. So candidate keys, now we are going to have employee ID and employee department ID. Now this table is not in the boycott normal form, neither employee department nor employee ID alone are going to be the keys, because the thing was, if I want to see the department number, I am dependent on employee type and employee number. Similarly, if I want ID, then I can get from the country itself. So which the relation is going to be totally partial and there is no much meaningful inferences can be derived. So in order to eliminate that, what we are going to do is, we are going to see that the table, it is going to be normalized. So how we are going to make this normalization was, we are going to make the table to decompose. So we are going to make that table to be decomposed into different relations. So how we are going to make this decomposition relation was, we need to have employee ID, country, department, employee, employee department type and employee department number. Now we are going to move into smaller tables. Table 1, table 2, table 3. We are going to have table 1, table 2 and table 3. So the very first aspect was, I can see that employee ID and employee country only can fit. I can't put the employee department or I can't put employee department number in a country. So there won't be much meaning here. Therefore, we are going to see that employee ID and employee country, they are going to exist in a relation. Then we are going to have this employee department table. So employee department table, now you can see that employee ID and employee department number. So these two, they are going to have the unique keys. These we are going to have the unique keys. Therefore, such two unique keys, they are going to be mentioned out into the table 2. And next comes the table 3 item. So in this table 3 item, whichever is going to be appropriate for the department. So for the department, we have employee department type and department number. So all these three, they are going to relate to only a specific department. Therefore, the specific fields, now they are going to be moved or they are going to be mapped towards a new table, that is with employee department type and employee department number. So in this way, we are going to bifurcate or we are going to decompose or normalize so that we make some proper inferences and that too we can see some functional dependencies is going to happen. So the overall, we talked about two normal forms at this point of time. The very first normal form, we talked about the third normal form, where it sees that it is going to see that there is no transitivity dependency occurring. And the second one was, we talked about the boycott normal form. Whatever anomalous which is not taken up by the third normal form, the other things are going to be taken in the boycott normal form, where we take up the first the candidate keys, and from that candidate key now we are superimposing the primary key. So this is where this boycott normal form was interpreted. So now what we are going to do is, we will take a small test case, and after taking a small test case, we will check how we can work with the first, second and third normal form. How we can work with the first, second and third normal form with one specific type of case study. Okay, so now this is a case study where we are going to say that all the attributes are to be atomic. So if we are going to work in the first normal form, what was the first and foremost condition of the normal form was that they need to be very atomic, and there should not be any repeated grouping here, because I'm going to have only one Smith, and it can be Smith Peter, Smith Mary, Smith John. So now I need to see that Smith is going to be repeated into three more columns. Similarly, Mr. R is there, and he is going to have with Anna and Michael, and it is occurring only for the one time. So now again the column is not going to be unique. So there are some empty cells. Therefore, we are going to call that entity here as a not in the first normal form. As the things are not in the first normal form, that is, we should have a unique values, we should have a atomic values. Now the first normal form is to be normalized. So how we are going to normalize work? We will make a duplicate values of the Smith, and we will make a duplicate values of R, and fill the column. Instead of null space, we are going to give up the name again for the other attributes which are going to exist. Therefore, at any point of time, the column is not empty, the column is going to carry some data. Therefore, the atomicity of the attribute is going to be met, and hence we can say this is going to act appropriately in the first normal form. Okay, now we talked about the first normal form. Now what is this second normal form? So in this second normal form, the first and foremost condition was it should be in the first normal form, and second thing was all the non-key attributes, they should be purely dependent on the primary key. They should not look for hereafter for another leader. They have to be totally dependent on the leaders. So for example, this is a case where it is not in the second normal form. So here we are going to say that there is a student and course ID, grade and address. So student, course ID and grade and address. So now what to do with this case and address, student, course and address? Is there any relation? There is no relation. Is there any relationship between grade and address? Again, there is no relation. Is there any relationship between course and student? Yes. Is there any relationship between the student and grade, between student and grade? Yeah. So in this way we can give what attributes do have relation, and when we go for decomposition, between what attributes we need to make a decomposition, that has to be taken up. So that is where the second normal form is going to come into picture. So in second normal form, we will see that there is no partial dependencies among the contents. So now you can see here, student is going to be one relation, course IDs they are going to be another relation, and student do have the addresses, and student and course. Now when student and course they are there, then only he is going to get the end outcome as a grade. Until unless student can't complete the DBMS, he can't get the grades for the DBMS. Similarly, student and course, they are going to be unique items, and those two unique items, they need to be derived to get a grade. Therefore, how we are going to normalize, and again we need to see that all the key items, all the non-key items, they should be fully functionally dependent on the second normal, on the prime item. So that is how we need to look. Therefore, we are going to have this division, that is we need to normalize the data part here. So while doing the normalization, we are going to have this Eric and student address, they are going to be put in a single table. Then we are going to have course, student ID and grade. So because you can see that there is no relationship between address and course, right? So we can't put address and course. Is there any relation? So my hometown address and my course, DBMS and Bhimavaram, is there any relation? There is no relation. But student name and his address, is there any relation? Yeah. So which place you belong? So therefore, whatever attributes are there to be related, that attributes we are going to put it into single table. Next one was we are going to have the student followed by course followed by grade. So you can see that a student is going to take some course number 31, he gets an A grade. Student name was I, and he is going to take course number 31 and he is going to get a C grade. Yeah, means those student courses and grades, they are going to have a relation. So this is set 1, one decomposed table, and this is another set of decomposed table. So one set we have student and address, they fit into one type of relation. Then student, course and grade, they are going to fit in another type of relation. Now how can I see that the student is going to have an appropriate grade or not? Therefore we can have a common element, that is student, where they need to identify it. Next one was to talk about the third normal form. When we are going to say it with the third normal form, the first and foremost condition was that the third normal form, it should be in the second normal form. So what is second normal form was, we do have the fully functional dependency, FDD. We call it as fully functional dependency. That is, all the non-key items, they should be fully functional. There is no other scope for them. So they have to be purely rely on the primary key. Now here you can see this item here. A grade gets a grade point of 4. C grade get a grade point of 2. B grade will get a grade point of 3. So which attributes are related? Grade and grade value is going to be related, right? And similarly, student and grade, is it related? Yeah, definitely. Course and grade, is it related? Yeah, definitely. So that means we can bifurcate student, course and grade. This is going to be related. And grade value, these two items are related. Okay, let us check in the out of box. What will be student, what will be saying student and grade? I don't know which student to which grade, to which subject he has a grade, right? I can't put student and then can't put grade. This won't be a good relation, because we are not aware of which course the student got grade, right? We know that student will get grade, that is a universal fact. But to which course this student had a course, whether it is a DBMS course, whether it is a flat course, whether it is an AI course. So we are not aware of it. So to which course the student got a grade? So that is an ambiguity, that is a fishiness there. So we can't put student and grade into a single table. So now what is this value and grade here? Is value and grade related? Yeah, they are going to be related, but not directly. And is course and student related to a value? Yeah, both student and courses, unified courses. So in a semester you have 6 courses. For all the 6 courses you need to get a value. So obviously student and courses, yeah, they are related to the value. Similarly, are students and courses related to grade? Yeah, they are going to be related. So I can say it is X, value is Y, and grade is Z. So X to Y, it is okay. Y to Z, it is also okay. But if I'm going to say Z to X, then it is not taking up the things well. So such is where the no transitivity relation should happen at this point of time. Therefore, what to do? We have to go for normalizing the scenario into the third normal form. We need to move, or we need to push this case study towards normalizing into the third normal form. So how we are going to normalize the things? We are going to see that wherever the dependency arises, that dependency value, grade and grade value, they are going to put together. Similarly, the student, course and grade, these 3 items are going to put together to bring out the third normal form. Okay, now next comes the boycott normal form. So if a relation is going to be in boycott normal form, the one foremost rule was it should be in the third normal form. So if it is in the third normal form, then we can say that it is also satisfying the boycott normal form. But the vice versa is not true. So this is the case. If the relation is going to be now pushed to the boycott normal form, then we can't say it is always in the third normal form. So that is the simple thin line what you have to understand at this point of time. So because what we made the student and course, they are related to the teacher and student, we made it. But teacher and course, there is no direct relationship, because a student can teach us multiple courses. So it is not that it is directly related to the student and course. Therefore, teacher, student and course, we have the things in the relation. So teacher and course, yeah, we can't directly put it. But if we are going to have a combination of values, student and course, they are purely dependent on the teacher. Therefore, which it is going to be weaker. Therefore, we are not in a position to put it into third normal form. So we are going to push the scenario to the third boycott normal form. Okay, now let us look into one more example where the first, second and third normal forms can happen. So in this we are going to have the supplier and part. Supplier and part, they are going to be the table names, where we are going to have supplier 1, supplier 2 and supplier 3. These 3 items, we call it as the supplier items, and every supplier has some parts P1, P3, P4, P3, P2, P3. In this way, they are going to manufacture some parts and they are going to give it up. Now, is the table in the first normal form? So no, because we are going to say that it is not in the first normal form, because we are going to have the multiple occurrences. We are going to have multiple occurrences of values in the same column. In the same column, we are going to have the multiple occurrences of the columns in the same column. So we can say it is not going to be in the first normal form. So how we are going to bring this to the first normal form? So instead of making it as a comma, so that is remove comma, and then we can put in separate lines. We can put it in separate lines. So separate lines or separate rows here. So I can say a supplier part 1, supplier part 2, supplier part 3. So we fix up this supplier into 3 entities. Then we go with supplier 2 with part 3. Then we are going to have supplier 2, that is supplier 3, 2 entities. So we have part 2 and part 3. So that is how we are bringing the scenario for the first normal form. So after first normal form, now let us look an example where we are going to have the illustrations for the second normal form. So when we are going to take up for the second normal form, that there are two issues which need to be looked up. One, we are going to call it as functional dependencies. Two, we are going to call it as fully functional dependencies. So let us check at this point of time the different attributes which are in a table. We have supplier, supplier name and supplier city, followed by city, parts and quantity. So how I am going to get the quantity? So how I am going to get the quantity means, now quantity, it will be taken up on the number of parts. So part P3, it is 253 parts are available. Part P1, 500 parts are available. Now you can see you can see quantity is dependent on the P3, right? Quantity, it is going to be dependent on the P3. So quantity and P3, they are dependent, they are interdependent to each other. So we cannot bifurcate these two items into two different contents. So now let us see this functional dependency here. Supplier ID is going to have and supplier name is going to have. So supplier name, it is functionally dependent on the supplier. Similarly, I can take name and city. So these two, they are going to be dependent on the supplier again. Similarly, supplier city can also be dependent on the supplier ID, and I can combine supplier and the part. So supplier, how many number of parts he is going to have. So that is also I can bring the scenario. So supplier and part. So now if I want to know this quantity, if I want to know the quantity, then I should see which supplier has how many number of parts with them. I need to verify. So for that we are going to have one more dependency. So all together in a generalized, now which is functional dependency was that we can say that quantity is purely based on parts and supplier. City is based on the status. Status city is based upon the supplier, and status city, it can take up from the city or to the suppliers. So these are some of the functional dependencies which need to be taken up. So now to solve this functional dependency, what we are going to do was, instead of putting all the elements, supplier, supplier name, city, status city, followed by part and quantity, now we are going to divide the items. That is supplier followed by part and followed by quantity. They are going to be put it into a single table. Then we are going to have supplier with name, with city, with status city. So these four items, they are going to be bifurcated towards another table. So we have taken up table 1 with supplier name, status city and city as table 1. Then we have another table, table 2, that is supplier 1 and 2 and 7. So these three items, we are going to put it into another table because they are interrelated to each other. So now you can see that parts are purely dependent on supplier, quantity are going to be dependent on the supplier. So every supplier, he has name, every supplier has a status city, and every supplier, he is going to have its own location. So now we talked about two items. One, we call it as atomicity values. Two, it should have a functional dependency. That two, the fully functional dependency of using a primary key was better. So next one was to check up with the third normal form. So in this third normal form, now what are the extensions we are going to take up was, we can divide the main table, that is table 1, into supplier name, part name and text quantity. Next we can have table 2 with supplier name and city, which is not at all directly related to the parts and quantity of a table. And finally, every status city is going to have some code. So Paris, it is located with the 10, that is zip code. London, it is going to have some zip code 12. So in this way, we are going to get these values. So the third normal form, yeah, we are going to see that no transitivity is going to happen. So supplier part and quantity. So supplier part and quantity, yeah, I can link supplier to supplier. But how can I take this city to, is there any supplier to status city? It is wrong. Now again, city to city, again this is right relation. Then city to this table, again there is wrong relation. So now you should understand, I am going to have some x to y and y to z and z to x. So altogether we are breaking up this chain. We do have just x to y and y to z. So there is only one commonality. There is no multiple commonalities among the table. So such is where it is going to execute up with the third normal form. So this is all regarding the case study what we have iterated for the uh, first, second and third normal forms. We have taken up 2 case studies.